So is this market going to make new lows or what? That is the big question of the week. If you look at the charts from those all-time highs to the low that was put in on the S&P around 2100, we took back half of that move. We rallied literally to the 50% retracement. We took back half of those losses, and now it's do or die for sellers. Are they going to come in this week or are they not? We didn't really see any real selling going on last week. And that has me thinking, what's going on here? Are they going to step in this week or what? So we're going to take a look at the charts, see, what's going on, where the market's at right now. And yeah, we'll take a look at the S&P futures, crude oil. Crude oil, nothing really changed since my first video. Still sitting around like 24, 25 bucks. Would like to see it below 20 to get an entry on that long-term swing trade. But we'll see if that sets up. I think it made lows. Well, I know it made lows into the 19 somethings. But we'll take a look at the charts, see what they're saying. And yeah, we'll see. I'll give you some levels to look at, some important levels to look at for the week ahead, because it's going to be an interesting week. Are sellers going to come in and drive this market to new lows, or are we going to keep freaking rallying? Yeah, we'll see. Let's get into the charts. All right, so what we're looking at right here is the bigger picture S&P chart right here. So this is the last 20 years on a monthly chart. And this trend line is drawn from the 2008 lows. If you've seen my previous videos, this is the same exact trend line. I haven't changed anything at all. And we're getting a bounce literally right off of this trend line. Exactly off of the trend line and these 2018 lows. So if we draw a little Fibonacci, I don't really use Fibonacci, but I'm sure some of you guys like to use it. It's kind of neat tool for retracements or whatever. But we'll draw it from the highs to the lows, and we'll see that we are smack at the 50% retracement. Okay, so we are at the 50% retracement from these all-time highs to this low that was put in at 2100 due to all this coronavirus talk, right? Sell off right into that level. Now we're bounced back up to 50%. So right now is kind of interesting because we didn't get any real sellers coming into the market on last week, really, at that exact level. So we're going to see this week, is it going to keep continuing higher, or are sellers going to actually step in this week and drive this thing down to new lows? New lows, I mean, this thing didn't retrace. I mean, this is not a Fibonacci thing, but we retraced about 30-something% off of those highs, all right? So if we want to see a 50% retracement, we'll be somewhere around this level here, okay? So into 2000, like 1800 is the next level of support for the ES. But I'll show you on the profile what we're going to have to, where the market's going to have to break through in order for that to happen. So now we're looking at the profile. This is more intraday stuff. So I like to take the bigger picture and keep that in the back of my head, and then I'll use the profile to actually day trade this thing. And the profile gives me a lot of data that, I could form trading positions based off of this profile. But early on, this is what we're looking at right here is Thursday's profile, broken up. So if I put them all together, this is the profile. Nice little profile. Nothing really happened on Thursday, but there were still opportunities to day trade. I was day trading it all day. Just the market's so technical now that you could really see these things pretty obviously, and just go with those data points. So the first thing we got was the A and B high. The A and B poor high wasn't repaired until later in the day, around G period, around like 12:30 lunchtime. So when you have a poor high put in like that, the odds are likely that the market has to come up and repair those highs. It's got to put some excess at those highs. So we got that poor high early in the session, and that literally trapped longs and had people short all day thinking that this thing was going to keep going. But little did they know that that was not going to be the high of the day. So I saw that. I was day trading it literally all day, up and down, to the long side and the short side. Just literally going for a few points here and there on pretty small size, but it adds up very, very quickly. So what really happened on Thursday? There was no real selling coming in. And then, these longs that were taking a position around the open, 2770s, those longs kind of got bored as this thing, once it broke through those AB period highs, 2803, later in the day, once it broke through those and it wasn't really going anywhere, they kind of got sick of it. I think the big money dumped their positions, and then we got a little sell-off. Not really much, but I want to show you where this market stopped. This market stopped literally exactly to fill the gap from the previous day's profile, the previous day's range. Look exactly where this market stopped. If we look at Wednesday's, let me just break this up so you can see it even better. If we look at Wednesday's range high, it's at 2752. Okay, Thursday, we open up here, 2773. That's a gap up, right? So we had a gap up all day, and it wasn't able to fill that gap all day long. So A period came down a little bit. Nope, still didn't fill the gap. B period, tried again. Nope. D period, tried. Wasn't able to do that again. And then later in the day, once, the big money dumped their positions, they were sick of holding these longs as they weren't really going anywhere. They got rid of their positions, and this thing just literally just fell out. But it held the freaking gap. It held right at the range high from the previous day. So that is a very, very, very technical reference point. You could see it here on the candlestick charts. If you guys are, candlestick traders, you could see it even more clearly. Yes, Wednesday's range high is at 2753, and look where the market made its low on Thursday, 2753. Literally filled that gap to the T, and bounced off of it. So it could be moving higher from here. We don't know. That is a very technical gap fill right there. So I don't know if it's real buying coming in off of there or what, but we'll see coming into this week if that level gets retested. So another general zone we're going to look for, if I scrunch up these charts, we've got some balance here into literally this whole level 26. Let me just draw a little rectangle. I know there's a lot of lines, don't worry about that. It's just because I scrunched up the chart. You're kind of seeing everything closely, but we've got some big balance here in this general zone. All right, so if we could break through 2618 and then 2300, we'll see if this even gets down that low. Once we break through there, then we're going to have some real sellers coming in. But this general zone has good volume here. So we're going to see, hey, if sellers come in this week around 2780s where we're at right now, if they come in, we're going to see, hey, are they going to stop here? Is there going to be some real buying coming in around this 23 to like 2600 area? I know that's a very big area, but this is just where all of the volume's at. This is where you see there's some balance being built here into 25 and 2450. Some more down here, 2420s to 2330. So there's a lot of freaking volume. This is where I think the big money has their positions right now. So if we're able to get below the 2300s, then this thing is really probably going to see new lows. So that's what we need to happen in order to see those new lows. We need to get back below all that big volume down there. But yeah, I'll be actively day trading it and see, you know, is this when it's going to happen? We don't know. We'll just kind of play it by day. But that's the S&P. And yeah, if we can, there's not much above here. We got 2843. What's this range high from? 2843 is from Tuesday, March 10th. See if it gets above there. That should put us around 2900s. And then, yeah, maybe move back to 3000 if this thing keeps rallying. But we don't know. We'll see what happens this week in the markets. And yeah, let's talk about crude oil. Crude oil has just been taking a hit left and right. Nothing's really changed. But if we look at the bigger picture chart first on crude, we'll see that, I mean, this month really nothing changed. We got a bounce, but it really didn't do much. Okay, so we're still eyeing these 17 lows. All right, so this low is from 2001. So this is from 19 years ago. We're gonna have the opportunity to buy some crude oil from prices from 19 years ago. That's almost older than me. I'm 23 years old, and I've never seen crude oil prices this low. So that's going to be a trade opportunity of a lifetime, I think, if we can break. I mean, it looks very likely that we're going to break new lows. Like, we really didn't do much on this bounce from 1970s. Except, you know, it bounced up to this previous support right here, and literally rejected off of that 30 level. So yeah, I don't think this is the low. I don't think we've seen the lows in crude oil yet. We're starting to get more news coming out, like, hey, they're gonna start cutting some barrels, start cutting the supply by 10 million barrels a day, blah blah blah. But we'll just see what the chart says. I think we will retest 19s at least again. But back below 20s, I'll probably start dipping into these crude oil contracts using this USL. This is a long-term ETF that I'd like to buy into. Just because it's less riskier than holding, and you need less capital to hold these than the actual crude oil futures contract. You could do that by all means. Still debating which I want to take, but most likely I go with the USL ETF. But yeah, that's crude oil. I mean, once we hit those lows, I expect this thing to bounce back up to at least 30, maybe 40s, and back to where it was to start off the year, 64 potentially. So that's going to be a good trade to eye on, but it's going to be a slow, nice and patient trade. Just literally still waiting for this thing to come back and retest the 17 level. That would be something to see. But yeah, that's what I got for you. That's what I'm looking at for the week. Check out the profiles on crude before we get out of here. We've got some kind of balance here. This general zone is where we sold off to end the week. Right here into like 23s. I think the market closed, well, I know the market closed around 2280s. But we got this general balance here, so we'll see. Hey, if this goes back below 2170s, the next level we got is this little balance from these 3 days right here, somewhere into there. We should test, and then there you go. There's the new lows. Once we break this big balance from like 22 to 25, I want to say, we're stuck in that range right now. We'll see, hey, if this goes back below 2160s, we'll see that 19 level get retested most likely. And then below there, it's right to that 17s or below. Who knows? This thing could get very ugly. There could be crude oil in the streets soon. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for with crude and the markets overall. We'll see if some sellers step in this week. We really didn't get any selling any real selling last week. This crude oil probably got the most. This was probably margin calls and some kind of liquidation. But this is what took the S&P down later in the day there. So we'll see. We'll play it by day. See if these sellers come in this week. If not, this thing's just going to keep rallying. If there's no natural sellers, no big money sellers coming in, then, we're just going to keep freaking rallying. I don't know what to tell you. Just go with what the market's telling you. You don't got to predict if this thing's going to make new lows or not. That you're probably just going to, put a lot of stress on your shoulders. But yeah, that's what I got for you. All right, well, that's all I got for you. I hope you guys are all staying safe, and I hope you enjoyed this Easter Sunday with you and your families. And yeah, if you like these videos, give me a thumbs up, or subscribe to this channel, or follow this page if you're on Instagram. And yeah, hope you guys are staying healthy. And I'll see you guys on the live streams. If you guys want to see me trade live every single day and trade these markets, I trade live every single day with the people in my Discord chat room. So if you want access to that, click the link down below, and I hope you guys enjoy this week.